All right, fellow targeted individuals. I wanted to share this video with you all. This is, as you see, the channel. That's Nicholas Hamblin's channel right there. What you're about to see is, one of the perps that they send towards him to use for intimidative tactics. You're gonna see just how desperate this guy gets. He even, when you pay attention to the video and then pay attention to what he's doing, you can actually see just how far this is going. Now, before I play the video, there's a few points I want to give out for people to understand the situation here. First off, if you have any type of lethal defense, that's fine, but you need to have something that's also non-lethal as well, like some mace or anything like that. Of course, there's your words. You have your words to use, but you also need to have a non-lethal defense. You don't want to just always have, the resort to using the firearm. But as you will notice, a lot of the craziness that's going on, you may want to have a firearm with you, especially if you go off grid. But these are just my points. These are just my points on the situation on what I think is best. Okay. As some of you may notice, the harassment does pick up from time to time. I will leave a link in the description for something that will help you out. This will actually instantly help you raise your spiritual vibrations. It will. I found out that when you start to raise your spiritual vibrations, you actually find yourself to be, less lower to their level. And the one way you can tell that, because this is the whole reason why they do this. This is the whole reason why they do the harassment bit, is to lower your spiritual vibration due to all the negativity. They put negativity, they put negativity towards you to lower you, to lower yourself, put you in a bad mood, get you upset, any kind of thing like that, right? All but nothing but the negativity. They try to damage your positivity with negativity, but you can't defeat negativity with negativity, right? So raising you see, they do this to basically lower your spiritual vibration. So the best way to combat this, to be able to always be calm in these situations, is to always raise your spiritual vibration whenever you have the chance to do it. Preferably, I recommend people to do this while they're sleeping, because with the technology that they're using, with all of these subliminals and stuff that that they're doing, you best believe that's also lowering your spiritual vibration even while you're asleep. So it's best to have your spiritual vibration being raised even as you sleep, because, well, that way it can actually act as a countermeasure towards what they're trying to do. Now, here's one of my tactics that I use. Several things that they do, I make one simple audio log or one simple vid log. I'll call these things out before they happen, prior to me showing up into a certain location, or prior to me going to a certain area. Or you could just do this for the entire day. You just mention this, and these key points. After that, you don't have to say anything else about it. You just record as it's happening. You don't have to talk to the people involved. You don't have to engage into a conversation with them. You don't, because they know, why they're there. They know why they're there. But they will never just openly, it's very rare that they'll just openly admit what's going on. It's very rare. Some of them are fuck ups like that, but that's not always necessarily the case. A lot of these types of people play very dumb, but dude, I'm just gonna say this as it is. These people think that they're gonna be able to just do this kind of behavior with the way things are going. You got another thing coming. And I'm speaking on logical sense here, okay? You're not just going to be able to act and do stuff like this with the way things are going, because people, and I'm not saying, Nicholas is like this, but I'm just saying other people, like the people who aren't aware of how sinister this government really is. Some of them do. Some people do. Most of us truly do. But there are also people who are just out there just to protect themselves. They only know so much is just about the rioting and the looting and stuff that's going on. That's about it. And there have been establishments where people have been, since the police weren't doing their jobs, these establishments, these people are armed. And these idiots show up to try to do what they're trying to do. They're probably going to get an extra cap put in their ass, I guess. I would suppose that makes a lot of sense. I'm not trying to be, swearing like a sailor here. I'm just speaking on logical terms, just how logical it is. You're not gonna just do this kind of stuff. But at the same time, with a targeted individual is very different. I'm calling even Nicholas' situation out as it is. They sent that guy there to provoke him. Okay? That's precisely what it is. He even proves this by even approaching Nicholas. He wants Nicholas to make the first line of contact. That's what he wants. But as you see here, this is going to be evidence showing you that Nicholas made no contact with the guy. But the guy, well, I don't know, because the video does it abruptly. But the first person who made physical contact was the old man. That's the first person who made physical contact. He kindly asked him to leave. People, that's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I get it. Like, it's a free country. You can pretty much go anywhere. But like, when it comes to harassing people, you shouldn't be doing that. You really shouldn't. But you know what? This is what I'm saying. These perps are idiots, man. They are obsessed with money. And I'm gonna go ahead and just mention this now because I didn't want to mention it where I was before. My cousin, right? My cousin, and I'm gonna. It's not just him. It's other people. I'm not gonna call out a name. And this may not even be the full case of what happened. They probably didn't tell me exactly what happened. But apparently, I'm being told that my cousin is a perpetrator. He is a perp. And I'm being told by the family that he got shot in the face. But they won't go into the details as to what the hell happened. They won't tell me at all. And when I seen the actual injury, it looked like the story just doesn't add up. You know, it doesn't add up. But you see, whether or not that's true or not, there have been cases where these perps have had issues, got caught up like that. There has been issues to where some of these perps have gotten into traffic accidents due to them doing this type of behavior. Yeah, that's right. Some of them have gotten into traffic accidents. Some of them gotten into, some of them most likely been shot in certain accidents. Some of them, it's been a lot of things that happen. This is why I don't believe these people are in control of themselves, man. I don't believe so. I don't think that no one, and I'm telling you, I think this starts off at a certain level. First, they basically intimidate them to bring them in. But I keep saying it as it is. That money that they give these idiots is laced. That shit's poisoned. It is poisoned. They're basically feeding you this money that's poisoned so that basically they can control you too. But they don't see that. They don't see the fact that why the hell should they have to just keep paying people money when they can just control you like a damn robot, right? What's stopping them? Why not control you like a robot instead of paying you money? They could just get you to basically bark and bend to their will of their bullshit tech. But they never talk about that. By the way, I do not consent to myself being recorded by anybody who is in this building at all. So that implies to whatever I previously said and to where I'm currently saying. I do not give consent. And that's another thing that's important, that you don't give your consent to being recorded, because you best believe these perps are recording you. You best believe the government is recording you. You best believe this whole operation is recording you. But yeah, dude, like I don't fear monger on their crap. I don't. It's like when you really start to see the real deep ends of this situation, when you start to really see it for what it is, and you at that point to where you don't even fear death itself, meaning you don't even fear death. There's not a lot of things out there that are really, there's not a lot of things that would put fear in you. There really isn't. And I'm just calling that out for what it is. If you don't fear death itself, I mean, why the fuck should I fear anything else? You know? And in the end, the way I look at it, that would be a release from this effed up world we're in. Now, I'm not saying go out and commit, do suicide. No, because that's a sin. I would never support such a thing at all. If anything, don't cheat yourself out of your entry to heaven is what I'm basically getting at. Don't do that, man. Don't. And you see, this whole thing is just set up to try to cheat your way out of heaven. Cheat you out of your way into heaven, man. This whole thing is, it's both a biological warfare and a spiritual warfare and, you know, psychological warfare as well. So much mixed into this. So much. So anyway, I'm going to play the video for you all just so you can see. Hang on.
Horrible. Sick and tired of being harassed.
Your camp spot here with my dog. Trying to get away.
Yeah, please don't step on my gear.
Now, you see that right there? You don't have to even engage in conversation with them. You don't. I want T.I.'s, and I need Nicholas to see this too, because they tried this tactic on me actually before I left my last campsite. Coincidentally, on the day I was about to move to a different location, they tried this on me. You need to be careful with who these, when these people try to show up and try to talk to you, because they use scripted language. They use scripted language. It's already told to them what to say and what to do before they show up. Now, in regards to this situation, this can apply to, I'm not going to say what the specifics of it is, but this could be anything. And I do mean anything in regards to what they're saying, to what they're trying to, orchestrate, or what they're trying to say. This is why that's, dealing with that, it's a very dangerous thing. So you have to learn how to not respond to these perpetrators. For anything, you don't have to, they don't have to suit to the spectacle, but you see, they're going to do things to try to trigger a response out of you. They're going to do stuff to try to trigger, desperately try to trigger a response. And this is exactly what that guy does.
Pardon?
I said, please don't step on my gear, and thank you for not stepping on it.
I wouldn't step on your stuff. I'm listening to a novel here.
Yeah. I just can't get any peace. I'm being harassed, murdered. I'm sick of it. People wearing red shirts going around just to make sure they're in my space all the time. You don't happen to work with the government at all, do you? Do you work with human intelligence?
Again, you don't have to conversate with these people. You don't have to do any of that. You don't. And I'm telling you, you see the whole thing of the shirts and all that stuff, the whole thing of what's going on, they want you to pay attention to that. They do. That's why they keep doing it. They want you to pay attention to that, because they're going to try to use that against you. This is why it's important to basically, disconnect yourself from that stuff. I'm not saying not to record with, what's going on when it's harassment takes place, but do it in a way to where, it's not causing you to take too much energy to do it, basically. So again, don't worry about having a conversation with these perpetrators. There may be some occasions where you have no choice but to have a conversation with maybe a shop clerk or so far, but you don't even have to talk to them. You don't. You really don't.
CIA.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah.
Could you please tell me about that and what's being done with targeted individuals? I know all about it, so you don't have to hide.
No, I'm just bullshitting. I don't work for anyone.
You can backpedal all.
Also, one other thing I want to mention and point out, these perpetrators tend to use reverse psychology a lot. They use scripted language. They use reverse psychology. So this is why I just say don't even bother talking to them. Don't, because it's all a freaking act. It's all an act and a trick. It's a trick. Now, they'll come towards you, try to act all calm, like the calm person. But the stuff that they're doing is very subtle to try to aggravate you. to try to get you to, get you to elevate your voice, get you to be aggressive, get you to swear, get you to do this, that, and the other thing. They're doing that to perpetuate and hone in on certain parts of you that they would see as vulnerabilities, and they utilize. And this applies to all of us. They hone in on these vulnerabilities. Then this also has to deal with body language too. I'm telling you, they are. This whole thing is scripted before they show up. It's scripted when they show up, and it's been scripted even before the initial contact has been made, whether verbally or physically. It's all scripted.
You want, but that was an honest answer you gave me a second ago. Tell me about the CIA.
I wouldn't know. I'm just a poor Utah boy.
Then your dog runs over my panel. You know I'm here. Why do you keep harassing me when I'm here? I have a right to just be left alone, dude. Instead of your dogs barking and running over my panel and being harassed.
One other thing, and I mentioned this before, this is why it's very important for TIs to start gathering up, man. It's very important for TIs to start gathering up, because they're not gonna, when you got multiple people in the area, they can't pull shit off like this. They can't do that because, first off, you can probably try to discredit one person, but when you got a second witness, oh no. Even if both people are targeted individuals, like, that's no, because then you have a witness. You got a witness to said event. You see that? When you have a witness to said event, you have more leverage on your side, and this applies also to the other TI involved too. In these situations, these types of mind games do not work. It only can work on a single person. They only could do this to a single person at a time. It's not something that'll work on two different people, because they can only focus on one person, right? So while one person may not see through it, the other one is just paying complete attention to what's going on. They will see it and they will call them out on their crap. And this is how their whole operation gets screwed over. I'm telling you, the TIs who are in groups tend to be heavily, it tends to get quite serious. From what I've noticed, I saw, a YouTube video of a family, but the problem was they were still on the grid. That's most likely why that was happening. When it comes to this stuff, like, certain equipment is definitely needed, though. You definitely need surveillance equipment. Definitely need that. You definitely need stuff to protect yourself as well, because these people do tend to get very dumb at times. For me to give you an explanation of what kind of people we're dealing with, we are dealing with the simpletons of the generation. The simpletons. Like the village idiots. And I'm sorry to use that term, but that's exactly what this is. Because these types of people, they don't know no better. They will just do anything, man. They will do anything and think like, oh, well, like, I can just do this and I'll actually make it. I'm actually making myself into something. Like, I'm making money. I'm able to buy stuff now. I got my own job now. You see, they're too excited into this situation, but at the same time, dude, you're ruining a person's life. They don't see that. They don't have the capacity to see that. They don't have the empathy to see that. And I'm telling you, dude, just from my perspective, from what I've seen and from what I've experienced, again, you want to know how stupid some of these people have been, and this is just from the the side, mostly, I don't want to call it the ghetto side, just from people who buy, let's say, like, Nikes, Jordans, stuff like that, anything that's dealing with like that. Okay, first off, well, you're buying Jordans. Okay, well, first off, you're being cheated out of your money a lot. It only costs like 25 cents to make a single pair of Jordans, or better yet, maybe even cheaper than that. And it only costs they only cost 25 cents, but people are paying over $100 for a pair of shoes. Simpleton. People are wearing this stuff, and they don't realize that there's satanic symbolism involved with these things. Simpleton. People, now again, this doesn't apply to everybody because some people don't know. I also used to wear this stuff, but that was when I didn't know. When I found out about it, that's when I started to realize. I'm talking about the people who work for this organization and don't do the research and don't really look into what this stuff is. That's a damn simpleton. Not, first off, not knowing, it's not your fault that you didn't know because people didn't tell you at first. However, if you find yourself in a position of knowing, both about God and about this organization, and you're still wearing that stuff and you're still going out acting like that, you do realize that's, I hope they realize that's blasphemy right there. That's blasphemy, and there is no way a person like that is going to be invited into heaven, man. There's no way. It's just not going to happen. But they turn, it's so much, even with the SAG and stuff. Simpleton. The slang language, once again, simpleton. You want to know that's something about that slang language? They put that in there to basically try to screw people out of their education. That's right. And it's simple. They went after the language arts part of the courses of school because think about it. All the other courses, whether it's math or anything else or science, all require you to have basic necessity skills of both reading and writing, right? So what happens when you screw up both the way the language is supposed to go? There are individuals out there who are saying stuff that don't even mean the thing of what they're saying. There's people who are naming things that don't even that's not even their name. There was actually a dude that called a charging a charging unit to a phone a block. Yeah, he actually called the darn thing a block. I'm like, dude, what? And it was weird. The darn charger was not even in the shape of a block. That's not the name for a charger, dude. Just say, can I use your charger receiver? The end piece that recedes, into the outlet that basically receives the charger cable, which plugs into your phone. Yeah. I could go on, man, but I'm telling you, like, a lot of these people, and this, don't be mistaken though. Every race has their line of simpletons, man. So when we're dealing with some of these gang stalkers, you best believe the majority of them are simpletons, but not all of them. These are just the ones who are out on the streets. And, when you're in the city, there tend to be a lot more of them around. But when you're off grid, it tends to be not as not as accurate, not as much, but it does happen. It does.
For fuck's sake, I'm an American and have a right to be left the fuck alone and not harassed by animal nor man. What you're doing is intimidating. Please stop.
I'm thinking.
You don't have to think.
I'm thinking about what we're gonna do here.
Well, I'm recording, so stop it.
I don't give a shit.
What's your name?
You come on like that and you think I'm...
You came up on me, walked all over me. Now you go and leave me alone in peace.
You look like another piece of sagebrush.
I don't give a fuck what you say. You don't get to harass me.
Again, you don't have to engage in conversation. It's just because in the end, it's just gonna stress you out. Engaging in a conversation with a perp. People, you see, he has his phone in his hand, right? The entire time he's got his phone in his hand, and I showed fellow TIs a little trick that they can do about this. Did you know you could actually be reading stuff on your phone while having music play in the background? Yeah, you can do that. You could actually do that. So what do you think this perp is actually doing? He's reading entries that are being sent to him as to how to act and what's going on. Because remember, they can hear through your phone. So that he doesn't really have to type the whole event to them because they can hear everything that's going on. They can, yeah. So in this case, you don't have to respond to these perps. You don't have to talk to them because in the end, that's just going to give them an opening to continue to perpetuate and try to intimidate you. You see, when it comes to these things, when it's happened, you know what I do? The minute I know that this person, that particular perp is an is using intimidator tactics, I use my one of my amendments, the right to remain silent, and I just leave the recorder on them at that point in time. The more and more they act out, the more and more they do, it only incriminates them more and more and more. That's when they have to withdraw out because they don't want to give you that credibility. They don't want to give you that credibility. I've seen this happen with other target individuals too. They had no choice but to back off as soon as you maintain silence because it shows that you're not gonna fall for their crap. It shows you're not gonna fall for the deceptive tactics that they use. And looks like this battery's getting low.
And make shit up, you goddamn narcissist. Leave me alone. This is harassment. Don't make me call the police or get my gun out.
Here's the thing. The guy doesn't have a gun. You see, the perp doesn't have a gun in his hand, right? He doesn't have a gun in his. He doesn't have any kind of weapon in his hand. Just his phone. These are, again, this is intimidation. It is, without a doubt, it is intimidation. But you see, that's what they want you to do. They do this stuff to get you to do, to force you in that defensive position, man. That's what they do. They do that. This is why they try to aggravate you as best as they can. Again, you always got to start raising your spiritual vibration because that's going to allow you to deal with these scenarios without getting upset, without, getting agitated at all. They won't be able to get to you as easily because of that.
Leave me alone. Walk the other way. Please, walk the other way. Leave me alone. I'm camped here. Leave me alone. Sir, leave me the fuck alone.
You think I'm a pervert now?
Yeah, you're a pervert.
Crushed her nose.
This is harassment.
Gouged
Another
into her
perp
eyes like hot
up in my
nails.
face.
You got something else to say about me? Samantha opened her mouth, but she had no breath.
That's subliminal messaging right there that he's using. They'll play something in regards to something, just to trigger either a thought or trigger either anything like that. It's harassment, man. It's undoubtable harassment right there. It is. But you see, you don't have to initiate. You don't have to initiate anything because then they're gonna try to hone in on that, man. They're gonna do that and they're gonna stay around. They're gonna keep trying to intimidate you and keep trying to mess with you. Even as I say this, and again, I call this out anyway because I call the scenarios out before they happen to basically, completely set my credibility in stone.
Form a scream. Pain ripped
Back
through
away.
her face as his fingernails
Hit
cut
me.
her eyelids.
No.
Hit me.
She grabbed his thick
you're
wrist, blindly
assaulting me right
kicked
now.
out at him, tried to
I'm not
scratch
Get away.
his
assaulting
conscience
you.
to stop
You're in my face.
No, I'm
Get
not.
away.
Wept down her cheeks.
Get the fuck away from me.
Zach's
Quit
fingers shook.
Get the
Screaming.
fuck away from me.
You could feel her eyeballs flex back into her brain.
You think I'm going to do what you tell me to do as long as you keep telling me what
She
to
felt his
do?
nails scrape
the
against
more
her
I'm gonna
thinner
do it.
eyeballs.
Help me.
Stop it!
I'm being assaulted by somebody on point of the mountain.
Stop!
He's in my face and I'm recording right now.
Just as suddenly as
You see that? He makes contact right there. Now, how long ago was this? This was yesterday. So This guy is constantly harassing me. It has been every day for the last week. He has a few Dobermans as well that come over, nip at my heels, and bark at me, menacing me. This is a public space, and he has no right to harass me day after day after day, and then get in my face. All I've ever done is ask him to leave me alone, and he continually invades my little 6 square foot domain. P.S. I'm a pilot. This is a flight park. I have every right to be here. I try to be a good steward, but I can't hardly handle baby boomer narcissistic clowns. At what point will the federal authorities step in and arrest these goddamn terrorists? I'm sorry, man, but that the police are no different than that. They're the same. It's the same thing. They're both involved, and I'm sure you know, based off the research that's been done. Man, dude, this is why it's too dangerous for TIs to go off grid on their own. I thought about doing it myself, but then at some point these perps may have been perpetrating out like that, but I think the Most High didn't want me heading out there, out to the Gulf. If you've seen what's going on out there, man, and I know why they sent a damn hurricane there, because if people start leaving the cities, they can have other ways of living. They can just do exactly what I was planning on doing, living off the land. Precisely living off the land, man. But they don't want people doing that. They want you in the cities. That's where they want you at. So that's the predicament that I'm dealing with. It's too dangerous for me to go out on my own, and it's too dangerous for any other TI to go out on their own. That's any TI, man. Especially during times like this. Some TIs who are around don't even know the full situation that's going on, man. It is time to gather up, and it's time to just say enough is enough and actually defend ourselves as is. Because these perpetrators, man, they are recruiting people out of the prisons. They've recruited people from contact tracing. And then they recruited people through the, what do they call it? The census? Yeah, the census. They wanted to know, and it's peculiar. They're talking about something. Well, we need to know exactly like who was where. They did the census this year specifically because they wanted to know like who may have been in hiding, who may have been around that hasn't been accounted for, and who may just be in the vicinity. They want to know where everybody is at. This is why they've been, stepping up the whole surveillance and tracking technologies as of late. Like the whole things, like that tracking device that got found in the Victoria's Secret bras. Yep. That's been happening. The whole thing about, and I'm telling you, I'm warning you, don't buy no freaking, name brand clothing nowadays, man. Don't do that, because I'm telling you, that stuff is going to have that junk in there. Your best bet is to go, if you want some clothes that are not laced with any type of tracking technology, maybe go to Goodwill, somewhere like that, where you can find some older clothing, even if it's used. It don't matter. It don't matter. As long as it's durable, as long as it's not torn up, it's still usable. But, man, dude. Man. The situation on my case has definitely been the same. Again, even as I'm talking right now, I'm going to go ahead and call this out. There are perps in 2 different units that I'm in. It's the same bit that's been played before. I go into an apartment. I go into a motel. It's the same thing. They'll rent out the rooms right beside you. They'll do that. And then they'll record you and report whatever you're saying to their handlers. So even as I make this video, I'm calling that out too, because whatever tactics that are used on or planned out and used on me is in related to what I previously said in this video. So with the evidence gathering equipment that I have, it'll just continue to prove my case. It'll just continue to prove my case. But at this point, you already know they don't care about, TIs proving their cases. The only people who would really feel threatened is just the perpetrators at the bottom. They really don't want to be on YouTube, though. I tell you that much. They don't. They really don't. Man. Funny thing though, you see a lot of this is letting you know that you see the guy's not wearing a mask, right? I couldn't help but to notice that he's
Shit
not
up.
wearing
But she
he's
had
definitely
no
not
breath to
wearing
form a
one.
scream.
So here's another thing. That should let you know that they know that this whole thing's bullshit. They know it's bullshit. Yet they're still perpetuating and acting along with it. They know this whole mass pandemic is bullshit. Oh man, I can only imagine the wrath of God they're gonna receive when this all is said and done, dude. And I say that, and it ain't no laughing matter though, because people are dying from wearing these things. Dude, people are dying. Kids have died. Adults have died. Senior citizens. This guy ought to be ashamed of himself too, because senior citizens have died because of this. I don't want to wear this damn. I don't want to wear these stupid masks all day. Who does? No one does. No one who actually knows what's going on wants to wear these damn things, especially if you know it's a part of a satanic ritual. You don't want to wear that shit. You don't. They know it's a scam. They know it's a satanic ritual that they're just trying to impose on everybody because the time of the awakening is close. It is close. So again, the whole thing about, and I'm calling this out because I've already used the Ramble app. I did. And I already detected where these perps are. I know because they're latched onto my network. So there's no denying that part. So I got the proof. I got the proof to show it. I got the undeniable proof to show it. I do. I do. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Definitely send some prayers out to Nicholas and definitely other fellow TIs because it's been like real crazy, man. These people. This is why it's best for us to gather up because they can't pull crap they won't be able to pull off crap like this when we gather up. And it may have to come to that if we actually are going to be able to defend ourselves from this, because as you know, they're planning on mobilizing the military. You stand more of a chance at defending yourself in numbers than you are on your own, and that's that anybody would agree with that. Anybody would. Stay safe out there, everybody. Stay strong. The link to the video that will help you raise your spiritual vibration will be in the description.